The Turkish bayonet charge. Korea, 1950. The winter of 1950 turned Korea into a frozen battlefield. What had begun as a confident United Nations advance toward the Yalu River collapsed overnight when the Chinese army entered the war with overwhelming numbers. Entire U.S. divisions, including the 2nd Infantry Division, suddenly found themselves encircled in the hills near Wawan by Kunuri. Retreat threatened to become a massacre. Into this chaos marched the Turkish Brigade, 5,000 strong, newly arrived from Ankara. They had barely settled into Korea when their orders came down: move into the path of the advancing Chinese and buy time for the Americans to withdraw. It was not a task designed for survival. It was a mission of sacrifice. On the night of 27th of November 1950, the Chinese struck. They came in endless waves, advancing with bugles and horns, a terrifying chorus in the dark. The Turks answered with rifle fire, machine guns, and artillery, holding the line through the freezing night. But the pressure never stopped. Ammunition ran dry in pockets of the line. Communication faltered. By dawn, many Turkish soldiers had little left but bayonets fixed to their rifles. Retreat would have doomed the Americans, who were still fighting to disengage. The Turks knew the cost of standing, but they also knew the cost of breaking. The order was given: fix bayonets. What followed became legend. Across the snow-covered fields, Turkish soldiers surged forward in a mass of steel and fury. Bayonets glittered in the pale light as they charged headlong into the enemy. The stunned Chinese, expecting a broken retreat, were instead hit with a storm of close combat. Scattered American soldiers, cut off in the confusion, suddenly found themselves pulled into the Turkish line. They too joined the charge. One U.S. veteran later described the moment. They formed a skirmish line, fixed their bayonets, and faced north with grins on their faces. I suddenly found myself swept along in one of the most successful old-fashioned bayonet charges of the entire Korean War. The Turks are never trapped. It's the people who surround them who are in trouble. Another American officer later admitted, "We thought we were finished." Then the Turks countercharged. They fought with bayonets, rifle butts, even fists. It was old-fashioned, terrible, and it saved us. The shock of the assault threw the Chinese advance into disarray. Again and again, Turkish counterattacks punched through enemy lines, carving corridors for trapped U.S. units to escape south. What was supposed to be an annihilation turned into a fighting retreat. The cost was enormous. Out of 5,000 men, the Turkish brigade lost 218 killed, 455 wounded, and 94 missing in the Battle of Wawan. Nearly a quarter of their force was gone. But their sacrifice saved thousands of Americans. U.S. commanders admitted that without the Turks' stand, the 2nd Infantry Division might have been destroyed in the hills around Kunuri. General Douglas MacArthur himself praised them. The United Nations forces in Korea were saved from encirclement by the heroism shown by the Turks. For the Americans who fought beside them, the memory never faded. Letters home spoke of the Turks' ferocity, of men who charged with bayonets when the bullets were gone, of warriors who refused to yield. It was not just a battle, it was a promise kept, an army saved, and a reminder that sometimes courage alone can alter the fate of thousands. Please like and follow for more content.